Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Edge of Comfort podcast, where you get a look into the adventures, perspectives, and discoveries of world travelers, as well as explore some questions and lessons from life on the road, all to help you navigate your own path. I am your host, Lee Thornquist, and thank you for listening. Today's episode is a bit different from the usual interview. I'm joined by two of my fellow volunteers at the Wagaligong Surf Hostel in Dulan, Taiwan. Try to say that 10 times. Wagaligong. That's a mouthful. So their names are Olaf and Philip, and we were able to get this volunteering opportunity thanks to a website called Workaway. Our discussion is a bit more random. We do hop around a little bit to some other topics. Our conversation does focus a little bit on Workaway and some things you might want to know about that, as well as why a traveler would even want to volunteer while they're traveling. You know, why would you want to spend your time doing something like this, working at a hostel or working on a farm? So kind of provide some insight into that. We also hear some hilarious stories from Philip's hitchhiking adventures across Canada, and there's even a guest appearance from the legends Barack Obama and David Letterman. You'll find out what I mean by that pretty quickly, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. So let's just get right into the episode today, and if you want to check out the full episode show notes and links to some of the things we reference, head to edgeofcomfort.com/EOCP12. That's the number 12, 1-2. Subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're using, whether that's iTunes, Stitcher, something else. And if you're feeling extra generous today, make sure to go leave a review for the podcast on iTunes. So thank you, Philip and Olaf. Thank you for listening. Make sure to stick around till the end for the question of the episode, and enjoy.
Good morning.
What's all the commotion?
Wow.
Are bonita fish big?
Same, but different.
If I can't scuba, then what's this all been about?
Welcome to the Edge of Comfort podcast with your host, Lee Thornquist. Welcome, Philip and Olaf, to the Edge of Comfort podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us.
So people know who's who. You want to say your name just so you know the voices?
Philip from Canada.
Okay, and I'm Olaf from the Netherlands.
Alright, so they're the voices, so you know who's who. But yeah, today's format is pretty open-ended. No actual type interview stuff, but we'll just talk about whatever and some questions. Obviously, Workaway stuff, since we're all here on Workaway at Wagaligong Surf Hostel. Beautiful place. But yeah, first I wanted to play this clip from David Letterman has a new show on Netflix. It's called My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, because now he's kind of out of retirement and has a beard and kind of weird. So he's kind of getting back into doing... Well, he was fired actually from his job. Did you ever watch David Letterman? Do you even know who that is?
I know who it is.
Yeah,
I know
man,
talk shit.
All I know, there's Conan, there's Jimmy Kimmel, there's David Letterman, there's Jay Leno, but I don't follow him at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Conan's funny though.
Yeah. Alright, but yeah, so this is his new show, and he's interviewing Barack Obama, and I was listening to it the other day, and man, it's wild. So let me play it real quick. Hold on. Okay.
Here are facts. What the Russians exploited, but it was already here, is we are operating in completely different information universes. If you watch Fox News, you are living on a different planet than you are if you listen to NPR. Now, it used to be, again, when we were young, although you're a little older than me, but
you and I are the same age.
Just he's got this biblical beard, like, do you have a staff?
I'm regarded.
Obama's a comedian now after the presidency.
Well, it's part
a holy man now.
In our campaign in 2007-2008, we were some of the earliest adapters of social media, and we were reliant on a bunch of 22 and 23-year-olds and volunteers who we were sending out, and they'd just go. And they were communicating entirely through social media, and we essentially built what ended up being the most effective political campaign probably in modern political history. So I had a very optimistic feeling about it. And I think that what we missed was the degree to which people who are in power, people, special interests, foreign governments, etc., can in fact manipulate that, propagandize.
I was under the impression that Twitter would be the mechanism by which truth was told around the world.
If you are getting all your information off algorithms being sent through a phone, and it is just reinforcing whatever biases you have, which is the pattern that develops. There was an interesting experiment, not a big scientific experiment, but just an experiment that somebody did during the revolution that was taking place in Egypt, in Tahrir Square. Somebody took sort of a liberal, a conservative, and quote moderate, and sent them on a Google search, Egypt, type it in. And for the conservative, it came up, Muslim Brotherhood. And for the liberal, it came up Tahrir Square. And for the moderate, it came up vacation spots on the Nile. But whatever your biases were, that's where you were being sent. And that gets more and more reinforced over time. That's what's happening with these Facebook pages where more and more people are getting their news from. At a certain point, you just live in a bubble. And that's part of why our politics is so polarized right now. I think it is a solvable problem, but I think it's one that we have to spend a lot of time thinking
It seemed
about.
like a valuable tool that is turned against us.
Yeah.
I read a book you wrote, Dreams from My Father.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was talking about a little bit yesterday. Mm-hmm. Just how insane that is. Like, everything we use now is so personalized.
So like all the ads I get on Facebook are like poker or like gymnastic, like stuff, like all that's being tailored to me pretty much.
Oh, 100%. I don't get those ads.
Yeah.
Based on what you based on what you search and what you look up on the internet and what you click on Facebook, what you interact with, that's going to determine what you like, the results and ads you get.
They feed me?
Yeah, and the information. So the reason why they were talking about that was in the U.S., there's like all this speculation that Russia had influence in the election with Trump, and that they were basically making Facebook news and all these things that were going against Hillary and basically meddling with the election to sway in Trump's favor. But so yeah, that's so insane. Like, I mean, even with Instagram, like how he said, whatever algorithm is used, that's how you're getting your information. Depending on who you like, and if like, say, Discovery Channel comes up and Nat Geo Channel comes up, if you historically like more of Discovery Channel's pictures, that's going to be shown to you more often, whereas National Geographic is going to just get pushed way down or just not even show up at all to you.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
That, right?
Scary.
Like, how do you... That's just, yeah, and living in your own bubble like that. is just like, okay, here's what you want to hear about, and I don't know, how do you break away from that?
Well, for me, I only really just started using Facebook. I generally live in my own little shell. Like, I don't even listen to news, man. People are always like, "Oh, did you see this?" I'm like, no fucking clue what's going on in the world. Yeah, I just deal with myself.
So you already live in
I'm
your own
already
bubble.
a hermit. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's so insane. Like, yeah, I don't know. Have you had any scenarios where maybe like with travel or anything where before you got somewhere, like for example, the guy I talked to on the last episode, Jason Patrick Irish.
Yeah, that's not.
He went right by the Syria border, right when it was kind of in a hot zone, and you know, if you say people or you tell people from the U.S., "Oh, I was near Syria."
He was saying he's from Canada. Was that what he was saying?
No, he's from the U.S.
No, but he was telling people he was from Canada?
Yeah, he would tell people he was from Canada because he was worried that they'd hear he's from the U.S. and be like, "Oh, we're gonna kill you." Because in the media and what you see from the U.S. standpoint is, oh, a journalist goes to Syria and gets beheaded or something, which, you know, that happens, that's still a risk, but you think, okay, the whole country's out to kill you. And then he was right by there, and he's like, yeah, it was some of the friendliest people I met. They gave me shirts and fed me and drinks, and so it's just, you know, you sitting at home, wherever that is for you, and you hear of other countries, and all you hear about from that is usually the negative stuff from the media. So how do you, I guess, is it like, do you just not pay attention to that, or do you just go and experiment for yourself, or like, have you ever gotten somewhere there where people were saying,
yeah,
don't go there?
Yeah. Like, all the time, man. I think generally, like, it's the people that have never been anywhere are the ones that kind of tell you, oh, this place is dangerous, why would you ever want to go there, right? But then you go there, experience it for yourself, and like, it's completely 180, completely different from what, you know, you've been fed from, you know, either people you know, friends, family, or like just random strangers, or the news. You're like, well, fuck, man, everyone's wrong.
Do you have an example of a place?
Like China. First place I ever went to.
China.
like even the freaking Chinese people back home were like, why would you want to go to China? It's so dangerous. Well, I'm like, well, China's a beautiful country. Just Google search, like, you know, it's so diverse. And we go there and like, you know, it was completely different experience than what, you know, everyone else was saying back home. Like, you know, you're gonna get kidnapped, you're gonna get freaking people are gonna take your organs and all this shit. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, especially when I come back home, like, you know, it's fine,
Yeah,
I had the same experience with China, actually.
Yeah.
It is actually, well, for the places I've been to, it's quite a safe country to go to, I guess.
Yeah.
But the only thing that people were right about is that it's very busy at places because there's a lot of Chinese.
True.
But
Yeah, you're in for a ride, believe. Especially on the metro. You gotta get those elbows up.
So where did you guys go in China? Like, what cities? Was there one in particular that people were saying, oh, you don't want to go there, that you still went to?
Beijing, I think.
Beijing?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
Along the coast, it was told, like, yeah, it's relatively safe. It's, you know, meant for tourists. So, but if you go like farther west towards like maybe like Central Asia, like Kazakhstan and Afghanistan,
All the
that kind of
sands.
Silk Road area, like, it may not be as safe. I never went there. I that's a trip for another time. But like everywhere else I've been, Shanghai, Beijing, Xi'an, Guilin, like, those places have been just like in regular city. Yeah, and it's relatively safe. Yeah.
But right now, do you still think like Kazakhstan and stuff are dangerous to go to? So it might be fed by media as well.
Yeah, maybe like to a certain extent, but I think nowhere near what's been, you know, been fed to us and all that jazz. Like, I'm gonna go there and I'm probably gonna have the same kind of realization, like, people are just full of shit. Yeah.
I think it's really with anywhere you go, there's gonna be a bad area.
Yeah, for sure.
It's being from Chicago right now. Everyone goes, if I tell them I'm from Chicago, they go, "Oh my gosh." Like, how are you doing there? Because all you hear about, maybe not so much world news, but in the U.S. news, you hear about just the killings, gun violence, just that how it's so overrun with gangs and sounds like a freaking war zone. And parts of it are really bad. You know, you don't. If you go there, if I were to go there, I might not get out of there. You know, so with any city, with any area, there's going to be bad parts. So it's just know what those are and don't go near them.
Yeah.
And the rest of the area is probably fine.
But I think if you also cultivate that mindset, like, you know, everywhere is dangerous, everywhere is bad, you're gonna attract it, right? You're gonna somehow find that danger, you know? And I think what's been really cool about traveling is like you kind of shift that whole like outlook. Like, people are good. People are, you know, people are really friendly. People are extremely helpful. Since I've been traveling, and you know, you go into a place with that kind of attitude, like you're kind of like attract that. You're gonna kind of notice that more.
You're looking for it.
Yeah.
You're looking for something to confirm, oh, this area is dangerous. Okay.
Because like back home, Vancouver, the one place you don't want to go to is like the downtown east side. It's just like 2 or 3 city blocks of people. Like, it's a freaking what do you call it? Just like crack addicts everywhere. People just roam down the street shooting up. You see ODs in the alleys, like cops and ambulance. They're always there, right? So, like growing up in Vancouver, you hear, yeah, don't go down to the east side. It's like you're gonna get freaking shanked there. But like the people are like the freaking crack addicts, the homeless. They're relatively harmless. Like you spend like a good week just walking around down there. Like, they keep to themselves, and it's not as, you know, dangerous or scary as people make it out to be.
So you did walk around there, actually?
Yeah. I was like, you know, let's try it out. Let's see it.
So did you feel unsafe? Or did you feel like it was somewhat
like
true?
The first night, I was like, oh, this is kind of sketch. But then just kind of walk around, like, yeah, like the alleys are a little narrower. There's a little more garbage and trash and dirt everywhere, and a little more scraggly looking folk walking around. But I think is pretty much the same as the rest of the city. Yeah.
Now that you say that, I realize that my answer to the Chicago thing was just totally based off media and news and what I've heard from that. I basically just repeated everything they've said.
Yeah.
So that's weird. Is there any place in Holland that is kind of like
maybe like my understanding of like Europe is like it's a paradise. Is Netherlands a paradise, dude?
Well, I don't really know if we actually have areas which are like blocks, like you said, like 3 blocks wide.
Yeah. That
would be considered dangerous by people or by the media or whoever. I don't think we actually have that in Holland. I mean, I'm sure we do, but I might not know it. But I'm sure, even in my hometown, there's sketchy areas.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel that they're dangerous or anything, because I don't think we deal with that many drug addicts like on the streets and everything. I'm sure there's some homeless, but I think there's usually enough. But I think there's usually enough shelters or something so that they can stay overnight there.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as far as drug problems, I don't think it's that big an issue. At least not in my hometown. About Amsterdam, maybe a little bit more, but I'm not sure.
Do you think that this has been a debate that I've had with a few friends from back home, is whether a society or like a country with pretty much all drugs legalized would be safer and less abused than other countries where it's all illegal.
Yeah.
So obviously Amsterdam, where most drugs are legal, or maybe that's changing a bit now, but overall, like, do you think that maybe has an influence on that, or is it just kind of the people and the society in general?
Well, I think if you do legalize certain drugs, it promotes safer use of those drugs. Because it's legal, you don't actually have to go through back channels or something to get your drugs. So the drugs you do get might be safer because you get to buy them in a shop, for example. So I'm not sure if a country would actually be safer if you like legalize all drugs. I mean, that's really hard to tell. But I do think Holland has less drug problems than countries that where drugs are illegal. I do think that.
Okay. Is it almost the fact that it is legal, it maybe deters some people away from it? I don't know if that makes sense. It's like a reverse psychology. Like, it's... Because I'm trying to think in America where marijuana is rapidly becoming legalized for recreational purposes across many states, I'm very split on whether I agree with it or not, because part of me is like, yeah, whatever, people who are going to smoke, whatever, tax dollars, whatnot. But then at the same time, we're people who wouldn't do it before strictly because it was illegal. Now that it's so accessible, the amount of people who are consuming that, is it going to skyrocket and make all of America super lazy and stupid? Or is it just the people who are going to do it whether it's legal or not?
Yeah, I think that, like if you really want it, you're going to find a way, if it's legal or if it's illegal, right?
That's true, I guess, but I do think like maybe in the first few months recreational use would skyrocket because it is illegal. So I guess more people would try it.
Yeah.
I do think that, but I don't think a lot of people would actually stick with it or become addicts or anything.
Okay. Because, yeah, I mean, think of some 30-year-old guy who doesn't go out of his way to find a drug dealer, find weed on the streets because it's a hassle. He just doesn't want to spend time or get caught up in maybe some sketchy people like that. And then suddenly a shop that's essentially a liquor store opens up a block away from him, like, hey, come buy weed from us. So it's just so accessible. Is it almost that, I don't know, maybe you can speak on this, because in Amsterdam and Holland, is it only Amsterdam where it's legal, or is
it's
all of Holland? Yeah. So do you see people who normally wouldn't do it try that stuff, or since it's always been legal since you've been around, it's just kind of, yeah, whatever, if you want to go do it?
Yeah, sort of the last way you said, sort of whatever. I mean, it's legal anyway, so yeah. I wouldn't say it's like alcohol, because a lot more people drink alcohol than smoke weed, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's always been around. I guess it's sort of became like part of the culture as well that it is legal. Because it's never, like, since I'm alive, it's never been different. So for me, it's weirder to go in a foreign country where it's illegal than to be in Holland where it's legal. Which is funny as well, I guess. But I'm not sure about, like, people who are older than me like this now. You mentioned a guy who's 30 years old.
Yeah, that was just an example.
Because, yeah, I know. But I do know that a lot of my peers, like a lot of students or a lot of people I know, have tried it, pretty much all of them. But none of them do it very regularly. But I don't know if your laptop is on screen.
Oh, it's okay.
Right.
Thank you.
I don't know. What was your question again?
I don't, just if being illegal, if more people are drawn to doing it because of its legality as opposed to, because there's not as much hassle with. It's more accessible and in your face.
Well, like I said, I do think people will, like in the first few months, just try it out to see what it's like, because it's now legal anyway. But yeah, I don't think they're actually going to stuck with it, like, for years to come or for months to come.
Okay.
What do you think?
Maybe a bit of both, you know? Like, I'm just thinking, like, being in China or in a country where you can't even speak the language, and like you can't read the language, you go into a restaurant where it's fucking impossible to order, or you go to a restaurant that's, you know, it has an English menu, and you know, you can speak English to the person. Like, which one are you going to go to, right? It's extremely accessible, extremely convenient.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to probably go there every time. So maybe the fact that pot becomes really accessible and convenient, you can go into a shop and buy it very safely instead of, you know, go find some drug dealer in a back alley, maybe a super sketch. People will actually, you know, there might be a skyrocket in pot use, but then also then again it's like, well, it's always there. You can get it anytime you want.
Yeah.
The people that really want it will find a way either way, right?
Yeah. Anyways, enough about that. Should we talk anything else?
Yeah, sure. I was just thinking about how we got to this subject. But
Yeah,
I
I don't know either. How did we?
Random show. It's a random show.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to talk Workaway now?
Sure.
Okay, let's talk Workaway.
Who actually knew about Workaway before, like, actually coming here?
I did. Well, I knew about it like 3 weeks before I came to Taiwan.
I didn't know about it until I was on the road.
Yeah, like,
Same with you?
same.
Yeah.
I only learned about Workaway from another traveler, and then I only, like, just made a profile maybe a week before I came here. I was like, oh shit, this thing is pretty cool.
That's enough time though. I mean, I usually...
Yeah, he's very last minute with his outreach.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
So
But it works though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's always worked for me.
So who wants to give the Workaway pitch for those who don't know what Workaway is?
You've actually used it, so.
Twice more than you, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, Workaway is this concept, I guess, for travelers around the world, because I think it's in most countries around the world, where you get to work for a couple of hours each day at whatever, at hostels, for example, or at farms, or at somebody's house. It doesn't really matter because anybody could be a host. In exchange for those working hours each day, you get to stay there for free. So at the hostel or at the person's house or at the farm, and sometimes you get like a little bit of food every day as well, or some money. So yeah, that's the concept of Workaway. So it's basically, what is their slogan? It's like a place away from home, a home away from home, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I guess it's a really good way to like meet new people who are also locals at the area where you're going to travel, which can be handy. And it's a cheap way to travel because you don't have to pay for accommodation. But yeah, that's Workaway. Did I forget something?
I think you did it pretty well.
Alright.
Yeah. Work for food and board.
Yeah.
Well, definitely board, sometimes food. There's actually some where you're supposed to pay them like $5 a day.
Well, seriously?
Really?
Yeah.
I
I
think that's
think
even against the rules of Workaway.
no, I've seen it from multiple people. It seems like maybe an option.
You sure it's Workaway or like some other?
It was Workaway because I've seen it
Website?
for the first time. I thought this was the whole point, to not have to pay. You work, but I think that's pretty much your food. So here's $5 a day. We'll feed you breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay. Yeah,
So really, that's not that.
it's not even bad then.
Yeah.
But still, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. But yeah, so how did you... We both heard about it on the road, just from other travelers. How did you hear about it back in Holland?
From a friend, an ex-colleague actually of the bar where I used to work in Holland.
Okay.
She told me about it. And yeah, like especially because I was planning to be here for quite a long time, she said, well, you should look up Workaway. Maybe you can work while traveling. Yeah, she told me about it. And I just looked it up on the internet. I didn't create like an account first away because you have to pay for that as well.
Okay.
And I asked other people what if they had ever tried it, and some of my friends actually did. And they all had a pretty good experience with it, so I thought I might just try it.
When you're looking up places to possibly volunteer, are you searching for a specific activity? For example, I want to work somewhere where I can surf, so like a surf hostel, or I want to work somewhere scuba diving, scuba shop, or are you searching for specific things? Are you searching for specific destinations? Like, I know I'll be in this country, I'd like to work there. Or is it just, let's go see what's available and I'll go wherever there's help?
It's not really let's go see what's available. I mean, of course it is that as well, because hosts need to have place for you to stay. But usually everywhere I go because of people who told me that it's nice there, like references. And then I just go on Workaway and see and look up like the place where we are right now, Dulan, and just type it in on Workaway, see what hosts they have there, and just go from there. But usually I go places because people told me about them before, except for like countries. I mean, I did decide myself to go to Taiwan.
Okay.
But that's also because I wanted to pick up a little bit of Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of hard, but yeah.
Yeah, that's how I found this place. Like, a lot of people told me about Dulan, and I was like, oh, what's Dulan? It's a really cool, chill, quiet town. I'm like, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, actually 5 people recommended me to go to Dulan, like during my travels in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So I thought, I guess I should.
Yeah, might as well now.
Yeah. It's actually funny because like this hostel I didn't find through Workaway. I mean, it was on Workaway, but I didn't message them through Workaway. Like, I think in Dulan there's only 3 hosts or something because it's so little, like the town, the village. But I was doing Workaway at a hostel in Taichung, on the city on the west of Taiwan, and somebody told me who went to Dulan before about this hostel, actually, Wagaligang, and that they had volunteers here as well when she went there, like just for holiday. I think she was here just for a few days. But on Workaway it doesn't usually specify the name of the hostel, I believe.
Really?
I don't think so. At least for Wagaligang, I don't think it does. Or I didn't read it.
You're right. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It usually just says description.
Yes,
Surf
exactly.
hostel and
because I think
bar.
the reason for that is otherwise you could just message them through Facebook and just skip like the payment for Workaway.
Yeah.
I think that's why. So
that's a travel tip.
Yeah.
Just
Travel hack.
just search on Workaway,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
pay, and just show up.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
Yeah, that's legit what I did.
Essentially.
I found Wagaligang on Workaway. I'm like, this place looks cool. I'm gonna check out Dulan. And then when I came here, I saw they had a yoga room. Like, I could stretch and everything. I'm sold.
So you literally just booked a few nights here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then got the feel, and then
I was like,
went
I
up
like
to
this- yeah.
Yongyi and said, "Hey, can I work?"
Yeah, can I work here? I like this place. I'm gonna be here for a month. Yeah, pretty much.
But anyway, yeah, I messaged them through Facebook because I didn't see the name, and I did know the name because somebody told me the name. Well, Wagaligang
Okay.
Hostel. They usually have volunteers, so I just looked them up on Facebook and asked them. And then actually by the photos of Facebook, I saw that it was the same hostel on Workaway because they had the same pictures. Which was funny. But actually, I messaged the travel bug as well, but that one through Workaway.
Okay.
But I chose to come here.
Yeah. Good choice.
Yeah.
Is what's your next one again? The one you're doing in
In Yilan.
Nilang? Yeah. Listen, have you heard this yet?
Yeah, you showed me the
Okay.
text.
Yeah. Listen, it's so funny.
Yeah, so I messaged a host in Yilan, a hostel as well. Well, actually, first I wanted to work on a farm, but since it's winter now, there's not a lot of work to do on a farm. So I messaged a hostel in Yilan, the next city I'm going to. And, well, at first I just told him like a little bit about me. It's sort of like an application or something, I guess, the first message you sent to the hostel. And asked them if they needed a volunteer for like the next 2 weeks. And they said, well, sorry, but we're already full, but he did really like me for my application or something, he said. Like my opinion about the guests or something, because I think in my first message I said that I've been a bartender and that I was easygoing and social or something like that. So he liked that. So I just replied, because there's not a lot of hosts in Yilan either, because it's not that big a city. I replied like, oh, I'm having a little bit of a hard time like finding a hostel in Yilan, so are you sure there's nothing I could do? And then he replied that I could like manage the lobby in evenings from 7 till 11 and just be chatting with the guests. So that's going to be my next workaway experience, is chatting with the guests of the hostel during the evenings. Yeah.
I think that's probably the easiest gig you can find.
Know. But then I was thinking about it, I'm basically doing that here as well. And every now and then.
Yeah, just
giving
serving
people
a drink
beer.
or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take this chair and sit there and talk with people for 4 hours. Oh, that's so great.
Yeah,
did you do bartending in the first one in Taiwan as well?
No. I was actually working at a hostel there, like what you guys are doing now, just cleaning stuff and changing bed sheets and everything. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll give a quick description of our work here, I guess. Probably pretty similar for most hostels. It's just check guests in and out, collect money, or give back key deposits. Clean some stuff.
Yeah.
Change beds.
Change bed sheets. Maybe vacuum, mop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
just overall tidiness of the hostel. Really.
Yeah. And then just hang out and do any other help that's needed.
Yeah.
And it's only 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. Pretty good gig, I'd say, for free board. And we actually get an allowance too.
Yeah, that was amazing. Like I didn't know we were getting paid and everything. When she told me, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah. And then also the free surfboard is huge.
Yeah, that's true.
I've only used it once. Yeah.
It was pretty good today.
Mm-hmm.
It's a decent board.
It'll do for a beginner.
Yeah. And for the waves at Cape Cafe too, it's pretty good. But we used to have two. Tomas broke the other one.
Snapped it in half.
Did he have to pay for that, do you know?
I don't think so.
No. Man, I've been paranoid about that. Every time I nosedive, I'm like, oh shit. I come up from under the water thinking it's just going to be there broken in half.
I mean, that can happen.
Yeah. It's kind of rocky there, too.
Yeah, it's true. Well, if you go more to the right, it's okay. There's more sand there.
If you walk down and go farther down the right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. Yeah. Have you looked up, like, in your search of workaways, what are some of the stranger things you've seen? Because a common one is always hostel work or some sort of hospitality. Have you seen anything where it's just, what is this? Or total oddball work? No?
Not very strange, I think.
It's all pretty much farm or like hostels.
Yeah.
No, sometimes you have like a family as well. It says like teach our kid English or something like that.
There's a lot of that in Vietnam.
In Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam is really big on something with English. Yeah.
Maybe teaching English.
Well, I mean, something teaching. Something revolving around English.
Yeah.
Like watch my kids, talk to them in English, or teach this classroom. I'm actually very curious if there's any strange workaway things.
You know, actually the other day I messaged a farm in Yilan, and I got a message back in Dutch.
Really?
Yeah, it was really funny. It was about this Dutch girl, and she replied, well, you just, like, she replied in Dutch, but I'll translate. She said, well, you just send a message to the greatest host ever. It's just a shame that it's winter now and that there's not that much work to do, but I've been here for 3 months already. And she actually invited me to stay there even though there's no work at all.
That's awesome.
I could do. So, yeah. So I mean, I had the place to stay in Yilan anyway.
Okay.
But I just decided to go with the hostel anyway because I think it'd be more fun.
Yeah, maybe just go and say hello or something one day.
I probably will. Because she also, like the Dutch girl, I think she's like 20 or 21 or something, and she's been working there for 3 months. And she said, well, if you come to Yilan anyway, we could meet up and I could show you some places in Yilan. So that would be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go. Workaway, making connections with people from different countries. Or the same country.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are 10 amazing workaway projects you should know about from dreamingandwandering.com. Number 1. Live aboard a sailing yacht in Panama. Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Mm.
Stay at the Lakeside Safari Camp in Kilimanjaro. What does that include?
That sounds cool too.
That sounds cool, but are you like...
Safari camp, man.
Yeah. Volunteer with husky tours in Lapland, Norway. That would be cool.
I'll help at a yoga and meditation center.
Help at a yoga and meditation center.
In Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
That's not very far.
That's actually... I've seen a few more
Yeah,
about
I've
those
seen that.
in some Southeast Asian
Yeah,
countries.
okay.
Yoga's blowing up, man. Volunteer...
Horses.
Volunteer with horses in New Zealand.
New Zealand, perfect.
Ooh, I'll be there. What does that include, though? You will be helping with the eventing sport horses.
Means shoveling up the turds.
Yeah. Picking up their poop.
Yes.
Learn to dive in Crete, Greece. So diving, yeah. That's actually... There's a lot of diving stuff in Thailand. I tried to do that to get my certification. Like, do work for a month and get a certification for free.
Yeah.
It didn't work, though. It was way too last minute for that stuff.
You have to, like, apply for that, I guess.
You don't have to apply, but those are a lot more popular. So
Yeah.
the bookings, they can't have 15 workawayers.
Yeah.
They have a limited number of space. So they fill up a lot quicker. So I was looking at, 3 days later. And they're like, yeah. All right, number 7. Help with the care of endangered species in the Amazon, Colombia.
Why isn't spiders as well? So.
Spiders.
I hope
Oh,
not.
butterflies. Okay.
Centipedes.
Monkeys, parrots,
Turtles.
parrots twice.
Sloths.
Oh, sloths. What? Dude, did you know that giant sloths used to be in existence? Like
How big?
Yeah. I don't know the exact size, but based on the drawing I saw, I don't know. They looked almost the size of a small bear.
Shit.
Not an adult bear, but
A juvenile.
a juvenile bear, yes. And then basically humans killed them all a long time ago. But sloths are insane already. Could you imagine seeing one the size of a bear just... Stay on a private island in Tonga. Where is that?
I have no idea.
Do you have any idea where that is?
No.
What? July to October, you can swim with the Antarctic humpback whales. What? Okay, where is Tonga? Because maybe it's time to go there. Oh, it's near Fiji. Also, where's Fiji?
Yeah. Where's Fiji?
So, wow, that is really in the middle of the ocean. Oh, okay,
Oh
it's
shit, there.
west or east side of Australia. Wow, you cannot even see that on the map. Okay, well, go to Tonga and stay on a private island. Swim with whales. Come and help with orphan children in Uganda.
Make a difference.
Make a difference. Do good for humans. Volunteer at a surf camp in Nicaragua. Hey! We're doing that, but in Taiwan. Cool. So there's a little taste of some of the things you could do. And that was this article was from 2015. So, in the last 3 years, it's probably increased a little bit.
For my next travels or something, if I'm going somewhere on holiday, I will probably check out Workaway as well, in that country, because I've had quite good experiences with it now in Taiwan.
And
It's funny, actually.
you can actually probably do them in your home country, too.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, it's a little bit weird to do it in your home country, I guess, because, you've got a house there to live at.
Well, yeah, but...
Well,
if it was a cool...
I guess Netherlands is kind of small, right?
Yeah.
True. So maybe a country nearby.
Yeah.
So you're like, I want to go over to Spain.
Yeah.
For free.
The States and Canada, it's massive.
Yeah, that's true.
We go the other side of the country.
Yeah, it requires a flight.
Or 6 days of driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I really want to do a vineyard.
Oh, yeah.
Learn how to make wine or something.
In Cali or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in Australia, or New Zealand maybe. Does New Zealand have wine?
Oh, maybe. It seems like a place.
I feel like they do. Yeah. But yeah, so after doing, you just said that you'd probably try to do it on your next trip, no matter where you go. I guess why would you, if you were pitching your friend on, hey, you have a month off or something, you're going on a trip, why should they spend a week or two working beyond just free accommodation? Or is that the best reason?
Well, I do think the best reason is that you get to meet locals, because they usually know where the best places to go in town are, or in the city. So I'd say that is the best reason, and that you get to stay there for free is just a really nice benefit, I guess.
Yeah.
I put it like that, I think. Yeah. But yeah, you do need to have time though. I mean, for most hosts in Workaway, you do need to be there for a minimum of 2 weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, you do need to plan a long holiday if you do want to work.
Okay.
Is this your first time doing Workaway?
Yeah. Yeah, I just heard about it in Japan. I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool. And then since then, I've just been keeping track of some stuff, or just messaging hosts to try to, I was in Malaysia, so I was actually trying really hard to do something on a sailboat.
Okay.
I really wanted to go live on a sailboat for a month or something, but there's not a ton of options for that, or you need a little bit more of a heads up, and for those there's usually only a spot or two.
Yeah.
So that didn't work out, and then I was looking into diving because I wanted to try to work for my certification, but with my timeline I was kind of wanting to dive right away, so I should plan that out a little bit more. And then I had these 3 weeks between Bali and China, so I thought, okay, I gotta find something to do in between that. And I literally just looked up surfing.
Yeah.
And so there's surfing in Vietnam, surfing in Taiwan, there's some, definitely some in Bali, some other places. So just messaged them, and yeah.
Oh, did you actually message this hostel before you even came to Taiwan? Or?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because I wasn't just gonna buy a plane ticket to Taiwan.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I don't know. I was trying to figure out a little bit more, because I didn't want to get here and then them be like, oh yeah, we're full. And then I'm like, well, I'm in Taiwan. I mean, I was planning on visiting here anyways, but I didn't know if...
Yeah, that's this fool right here.
Just showed up.
Pointing to myself, yeah. Literally just show up in Taiwan. Yeah, let's see how this goes.
I did it 2 days beforehand, 2 days before my flight to Taiwan started. I think I messaged 2 or 3 hostels in Taipei. Yeah. And a couple of hours later, I knew I could work at one of them already. So that was nice.
So the hosts are pretty good at replying, eh? 'Cause I haven't sent a single message to anyone yet. Yeah.
I'd say it actually tells you the response rate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can just see on their page what their response rate is.
Yeah. I mean, it all just boils down to just don't send a shit message. I've actually been very curious about that.
What entails a good message?
Just try to introduce yourself a little bit and why you would be a good fit. Don't just copy and paste a generic message and blast 20 people.
Oh man, that's me.
Okay, so that honestly probably works for some hosts, because they just need people. Sure. Yeah. So maybe it works. But I always try to look through the description, find something that piques your interest, or something that you think, oh, I've experience with that, or I think I would be able to help with that. So Olaf with bartending, when he messaged that person, he said, oh, I have experience bartending and socializing with guests, making good environment, and that made him stand out. And why he basically replied and said, oh, we're full, but I really like that point about that. Okay. So maybe try to just include something about, hey, this is why I'm interested in you guys. This is the help you need. I think I could help with that, but I'm also willing to help in any other area you need.
I just did that on Couchsurfing, actually. I'm going to be Couchsurfing in Hualien for the next couple of days. Yeah. And there was this one guy who had 180 references already. Yeah, it's pretty
180?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's crazy. so he's been hosting loads of people, and like his response rate was 100%, but he said he only accepts like 10% of the people who message him because he's got that many references that a lot of people message him as well. And I'm actually going to be staying with him because I just it was my first time on Couchsurfing as well. I had never done it, and he was the first guy I'd sent a message to. So I just told him about that. Like, it's my first time on Couchsurfing, and I'm not really sure what I should tell you. Like, I mean,
I don't know what to say. I need a couch.
So I just read his profile, and it said something about his philosophy on life or something. And it just reminded me of a book I read 3 weeks ago, so I told him about that and a little bit about the book.
Perfect.
And I mean, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, find one little thing you can connect on or comment on, or like a book. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how does Couchsurfing work? Because I'm also looking to use it when I go to Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
it is very similar actually.
You just
Other
gotta
than
make a profile and
yeah,
you find
And
it's
it.
free.
It's
Actually.
free.
Yeah.
Completely free. Unless there is you can get verified for $50 lifetime, and that allows you unlimited messages, whereas the free allows you 10 messages a week,
Yeah, that's true.
which is usually plenty enough. 10 messages a week and most access to everything else, whereas verified, I mean, you know that the person's a real person, so you know they cared enough to pay to use the service, so it's like, okay, you know, so it's a little bit more reliable,
Yeah.
and they say find a host 2 times faster if you're verified.
Well, to be honest,
But
I don't know, because I think references are still a lot more important.
I agree too, but at the beginning it might be a little bit
Yeah,
harder.
that's true. Like for your very first one.
Yeah.
So like what's in it for the host that, you know, hosts,
Nothing much, just meeting new people.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah. So this is actually a topic I like a lot because I've been couchsurfing a few times, but so the hosts are usually travelers as well,
okay.
or they've been on some trip, or they've used couchsurfing on a trip, so they kind of want to pay it forward, or you know they're not stuck, but they're at home because of work or school, so they don't have access to go travel for months. So it's kind of a way to bring the world to you.
Yeah.
You know, okay, here I can have people from Europe, people from the States, people from South America stay with me, and I can talk and learn about their culture just staying in my home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of like paying it forward. You know, everyone or most of them are travelers themselves, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they know kind of the culture and how to not be a shit person, I guess. A little bit.
A lot of the hosts on Couchsurfing say that on like their profile as well, that they've had such good experiences with Couchsurfing when they were traveling themselves that they thought, well, I might just try it in my home country as well. Yeah.
Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. You're staying, how long are you staying with him for?
Just 2 nights.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe. Yeah, 2 nights. I'm actually still looking for somebody for 2 more nights.
Okay.
And yeah, it'll probably work.
Okay.
Not too worried about that. Otherwise I'll just get a hostel.
Yeah.
Actually, what told me about that? Yeah, somebody from Travelbox, she told me about like the hangout option in Couchsurfing.
Yeah.
She was really like enthusiastic about that.
Yeah.
What's that?
So one of the other main benefits of the couchsurfing is they have a service called Hangouts, or not a service, a feature. I think you actually need the app to use that part,
Oh, okay.
but it essentially shows you others travelers who are around you and who want to hang out.
So it's not only travelers, I think it's locals. as
Yeah,
well,
and locals
right?
if they're on it, and you
Yeah.
have to specify if you want to be available or not. So, for example, if I wanted to go get lunch right now, but didn't want to go alone, so maybe I'd just go on the Hangouts and say I'm available. I want to go grab lunch. In some areas, you know, we're more travelers than others, depending on time, but and then someone could message you and say, hey, I want to grab lunch too. You want to go? Yeah. Or I used it in Japan to find a group to go do karaoke with. So, like, I had one night in Osaka, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to just sit in my room, so went on there. There's actually events, too, which is a pre-organized thing.
Oh yeah, I went to an event actually once.
Yeah, and a lot of those are weekly, like weekly couchsurfing meetup. Go to this bar every week. So that was...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so in Osaka, they had a karaoke one every Friday.
Yeah.
Happened to be there on a Friday. Went there. There was like 35 people there.
And karaoke's big in Japan too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Must have been an experience.
It was. Karaoke is just so interesting because you get the characters that do karaoke. You know, you get the people who are actually legit, who are very, very good, and they'll go up there and just kill it. And then everyone's like, "Oh shit! I don't want to follow that." And then you get the people who think they're really good, and they do way too many songs and try to prove that they're good, but they're not. And you get the really timid people who are kind of like their friend forced them to do it, so they go up and half-ass the song. I saw these two people go up and do this Circle of Life. You know, the Lion King. Yeah. Oh, it was brutal. I don't think they've ever heard the song before. They were just, the circle of the most unenthusiastic rendition. So, but hey, props to anyone who's doesn't care about.
I think it's funny though that like karaoke is so popular in a lot of countries in Southeast Asia, actually in China as well, because like they have this whole culture thing about saving face. That they for example, I can't really tell anybody that he's done something wrong in front of other people because he'd lose face or something. But they don't really care at all about karaoke. I mean, they go all out. It's like there's no shame in it at all.
Yeah.
And there is, I think, in Europe or in the West sometimes if somebody really can't sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, if you suck, one...
You don't do it.
No, because it's fun. You got to do it, no matter how good or bad you are.
Usually,
but if you're bad, just own it. Don't go up there and pretend like... Just go up there and suck. Who cares? If you have fun with it, but if you go up there and know you suck and try to be good, or it's just go up there and own it. That's and true, laugh about it, because no one cares. It's fun. Yeah, that is true though in Asia. Like karaoke all out. They do have a lot of places where you can rent private rooms though, or not even rent them. It's just given to you if you have a group of 3 or 4
for karaoke.
Yeah.
Actually, in Taichung, like on the west, I saw when I was going to the movies, to the cinema, there were these little, these very tiny rooms, and there were just 2 seats and a screen in front of you, like where you pay for your movies, like just outside there, like at the waiting area.
Yeah.
There were these little rooms for karaoke. You could just wait there while doing karaoke or something. I mean, I'd never seen it before, but yeah, it was funny, and people were doing it as well. Just waiting to see the movies. Well, might as well do some karaoke songs.
What are some of the strangest cultural things you guys have come across? Strange, obviously, just because we're not from the area, but that just totally like, you're just like, what? Does anyone see this?
A couple of weeks ago, also in Taichung, like in a very busy park, this old man, I think like 60, just burped for like 3 seconds. And I he was walking behind me, so I looked at him, and it was quite busy, but nobody looked at him at all. I mean, everybody thought it was perfectly normal. And I mean, I know it is as well, because they do that here quite often. But, yeah, I thought that was funny. I was the only one who really paid attention to it at all. But yeah. I mean, you read about that stuff, but
yeah,
it's still kind of funny when it does happen.
Man, your first ever experience with a squatty potty? Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Was that here though, in Taiwan?
No. This was a couple of years ago in China. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Just walked right out.
I actually thought they were urinals at first. It was in Singapore, and I saw it, and I
Yeah,
thought it was
Singapore as well.
Yeah, not everywhere, but yeah. And I thought it was a urinal, so I was using it as a urinal for a week, and then one day there's shit in there. I was like, oh my god, someone shit in the urinal. I couldn't believe it. And then I was telling my friend about it. He's like, dude, that's a squatty potty. What? Yeah, squatty potties, bum guns.
Bum gun, yeah.
Yeah, those are the things that...
Never used the bum gun. It was just
You
like,
never used it?
couldn't, just can't man up to that one. Like, oh man. This is another travel tip. You guys don't want to, like, you don't want to use, like, third world, like, toilets or whatever. Bring a spare roll of toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's like one of my rules. I carry, like, just a roll of toilet paper and, you know, good to go. Good to go.
Yeah, that's true.
And poke out the little cardboard roll in the middle, and then you can just squeeze it in half. And it's a lot more travel size. Fuck.
Bring the Western influence with you.
Yeah. that's just one thing I just can't, like, adapt into. Every time I'm like, yeah, I'm down, let's do a squatty potty. I just can't. I'm like, this is terrible. Terrible experience every time.
Have you ever heard that it's actually healthier to
Yeah.
poop that way?
I have, yeah.
Can we confirm that?
I
Is
don't
it?
know.
Dude, man, I bought that squatty potty.
Assist thing?
Yeah,
The Shark Tank thing?
yeah.
That you put your feet up
You
on?
put your feet on it. I'm like, this thing doesn't really work. Yeah. I'm down for trying new things, but like it just doesn't work.
It's a shitty conversation.
Literally.
Oh, that was such a bad pun. Okay. Anything else on Workaway?
Well, for both of you, it's the first time doing it, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of hosts are quite different, like from especially like in the amount of work, because here you actually work quite a lot.
Really?
Yeah, you do. Like because in Taipei, I think I averaged about 2.5 hours a day, like 5 days a week, and I just get 2 days off as well.
Really?
And in Taichung it was even less. Yeah. Well, sometimes in Taichung it was less because you had like A, B, and C shifts, and A shift was just setting up breakfast. Well, they don't have breakfast here for the guests, but they did there. So that was, I think, 3 hours in the morning, 8 to 11, and then you were done. And B shift was cleaning the bathrooms, and usually you were with two. And that took us like 50 minutes sometimes. So B shift was kind of nice. But yeah, here you do actually need to be here at least for like 5 hours, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the work's not that bad either, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, and you're always kind of like on at the same time. Like if you're here in the hostel, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
guest needs a hand. Of course, you can give them a hand, or you know, like the garbage is full. Yeah.
That's true.
Take it out.
Who's gonna take it out? It's gonna be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, but still the amount of hours that you actually need to be present is a lot more here than from what I have experienced. I'm not sure what the average of Workaway is, but yeah.
Were there a lot more volunteers at those places?
No.
Or, no? Just...
No, they weren't actually. So I think in Taipei I was actually the only one, but they had a lot more staff. They actually have staff there.
Okay.
Like they don't really here. I mean, you've just got Yong Yi,
Yeah.
which is the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was saying like they've been running this place for 5 years, just all volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Pretty
That's
crazy.
insane.
And impressive. That's impressive.
It is
How
impressive
do you
as well. Yeah.
keep that a volunteer here always?
But she said as well that she's probably trained people to do this job like over 100 times. I mean, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, if you have people coming every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
if you have to do that training 2 to 3 times a month, oh my gosh. I mean,
she
it
does.
was- Yeah. But that's insane, running off volunteers for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay. So yeah, Workaway. Try it out on your next trip. Or go to give it a test run in your home country.
Yeah, you could as well.
I wonder if you could find like a...
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah. You might even be able to do just like a 3-day weekend thing, you know, if it's a host and close to you, or just to...
No, we're gonna do a
try
full
that.
2 weeks.
If you can, yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of the luxury of living like a backpacker life. You can kind of just, you know, pick up and leave or do whatever you feel like anywhere in the world. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to stay here for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's really nice about traveling alone as well, though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can just get to make up whatever you want to do
Yeah.
by yourself. You don't need to argue with anyone.
Yeah.
If you're ready to leave,
Yeah.
all right, I'm leaving. If you want to stay, I'm staying.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you both been solo this whole time?
Yeah.
In Taiwan?
Since you've left Canada?
No. I went to Thailand with my buds from high school and elementary school, and then from there they went back home, and I came here.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been just traveling around, but I mean, I've only been here for about 2 months now. But still, yeah. I mean, there has been like days that I hang out with the same people, but they don't actually travel along with me or anything.
Okay. Yeah. Is this your first overall solo trip, or have you done ones in the past around Europe or other places?
It's my first solo trip long term. I have been to places myself, but then for just a couple of days.
Okay.
Because like I used to live in Malaysia for half a year, and sometimes I just do weekend trips abroad or within Malaysia.
Okay.
So yeah, it's my first solo trip long term.
Has it been about what you expected? Harder, easier, life-changing?
Phew, I wouldn't say life-changing. I think it's sort of what I expected though. And yeah, no regrets so far.
Alright.
Yeah.
For you? Having that...
What constitutes as long term?
Yeah,
I'd say...
I was thinking about it as well, because I don't really have a term.
I'd say a month and more is long term.
I went to the Philippines for like a total of 6 weeks. I went there initially on my own, and then I met up with my family and visited relatives for like a week or two. And they went back home and I stayed behind. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of a solo, not solo trip.
Yeah.
So this would be, I guess, my official, like, just on my own long term, like 6+ months or something.
Yeah. Well, like, for traveling, it is my first time, but I did do an internship abroad. And I did go there alone as well. I mean, it's not traveling around the world or throughout the country, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe we're
It's-
just
it's
getting
not-
technical now.
Well, maybe, but I guess the feeling is about the same.
Yeah, you're going to a brand new place
Yeah.
on your own.
Exactly.
Don't know. There's no one there to pick you up at the airport.
Yeah.
You're just going there and gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
It's really not as hard as it seems to be, I guess. I don't know. Once you get to a place,
It
there's
is.
usually other
Yeah.
people there that
I
you
know.
can talk to. And
True.
like, we got here and within a day it was easy to, oh, you guys are working here too? Cool. What's up?
Yeah.
Or the Dutch guys who stayed for 5 weeks or whatever.
Nah, just 2 weeks.
2
believe,
weeks.
yeah.
Extended every day. Yeah, I thought they were just gonna buy the Yakuza room.
Yeah, every
just gonna
time I
leave
saw them,
this.
I'm like, you guys are still here?
That was funny.
They didn't actually stay here every night though, because they went to
Like
Genting
Doha
for
or
2 days as well.
something.
Yeah, but like they didn't always sleep here either. Sometimes they had 2 rooms, like this one, and one in Hualien or one in Genting. Yeah, kind of funny. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I found this story today that this girl, this travel blogger, her site neverendingfootsteps.com. Her name's Lauren, and she wrote this article in 2012. I don't know how I just found it today, but the title is "There Was a Dead Woman on My Slow Boat."
Okay. What's a slow boat?
So a slow boat is a very popular activity in Laos, where you go down the what is it, Mekong River? Is that it?
Okay.
Kind of like a cruise or something? But like,
That's a very generous term, yeah. It's just a slow boat that goes down this river, and it's just very beautiful river, very natural landscape, and cool little villages, and just supposed to be a very unique experience in Laos.
Yeah.
Is it Lao or Laos? Do you say the S?
We do in Holland, but I'm not sure about English.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I always say Laos, but
Okay. I do
last
too.
few people I've heard them say Lao.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't understand that, I think. I mean, I wouldn't
Is
know
that a
what
new country? What
Yeah.
is that? So basically, she wasn't super excited about doing this slow boat, but everyone was like, "Oh my god, you got to do it! It's so much fun!" You know, one of those things. She didn't want to spend 10 hours a day on a boat. Sounded kind of boring. So yeah, it's valid. So she did it, and turns out it was amazing actually for the first day at least. The boat had comfortable padded seats as opposed to hard wooden benches we heard some boats have. Chatting, playing card games, drinking beer, listening to music, watching the gorgeous scenery drift past the window. It sounds pretty nice. So, super excited, glad she decided to take the slow boat. And so on the first night in the village where they stayed at, things started to not go well. And turns out her roommate sleep screams. So for the entire night, every 30 minutes, she would wake up screaming, wailing, and crying in Dutch and refuse to tell me what was wrong. She'd simply laugh, turn over, and fall back asleep, and then wake up screaming a few minutes later.
Oh my god.
So that's the first bad thing. And then next morning, they're getting ready to leave. Lauren was ready to actually rest on the boat since her roommate was sleep screaming all night. She falls asleep, basically wakes up 10 minutes later, kind of into a frantic scene, a lot of commotion going on, and turns out there was a lady died on the boat. An old woman died on the boat. So, as the boat erupted in chaos with everybody whispering and gossiping and a few people crying, I could think of only one thing. I'm sitting next to a corpse. I'm sitting next to a corpse. Oh yeah, because the body was brought to basically her back bench. She couldn't take her eyes off her. Felt like I was about to throw up. Oh man, her husband was on the boat too. Entire boat watched in silence as he laid down on the ground. Oh shit, I didn't read this one. She died from malaria. Instantly sent my hypochondria into overdrive. She wondered if she'd been using insect repellent, had covered up, had been bitten, thought she was going to faint from worrying about malaria. Jesus Christ. This is a bad trip, actually.
And then it ends with, thanks for reading.
So they get off the boat. Oh man, everyone all the baggage was in the room behind where the dead woman was lying. So everyone had to climb over her to get their bags. Jesus Christ. That's actually a pretty terrible experience. Never mind, this wasn't funny.
I'm glad I don't have such an experience anywhere.
Thanks for reading.
Yeah, I know.
That is kind of a sad end. Alright, well, I don't know where to go with that, but...
Take your malaria pills.
Yeah,
kid.
take your malaria pills. Maybe don't...
I didn't even know you needed malaria pills in Laos.
Oh, that's like the one place you do need them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like in Asia, then, I guess. Or...
Yeah, in Asia.
You're supposed to have them in the Philippines.
Oh, really?
I bought them, and I never remembered to take them.
They're really expensive though, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Depends which kind you get. You can get like the higher end ones. It's like 5 times the price, but you don't get like headaches or diarrhea or something. There's less symptoms or side effects.
Yeah, I did a consultation with some vaccination person before leaving, and man, they make you think that you are gonna die. They pulled out this. It was this booklet, like a handful. Like she's like, "Oh yeah, just bring this with you." I'm like, "Lady, I can't bring that in my backpack. I have a carry-on. This is a freaking college textbook right here." But yeah, she's like, "Okay, so here's some of the things that are common in Southeast Asia: malaria, typhoid, Japanese something." Yeah, that one. And she just runs through the 3 pages of stuff. She's like, "This one, not that common, but you might get it, and if you do, you gotta get to a hospital immediately or you might die." Just so casual about all this stuff runs through. She's
no
like,
big deal.
"So do you want to get treatment for any of these?" I'm like, "I mean, yeah, but no, because it's gonna cost me $1,000, but I guess that's worth saving my life." But yeah, man, they make you. She pulls out a map. She's like, "In this area of Thailand, take malaria pills. In this area, you're okay. In this area, huge risk of Japanese whatever." And yeah, and after that, I was like, "Shit, do I even want to go anymore? I'm gonna go there to contract these crazy diseases." And then you get there, and I have malaria pills, and I haven't touched them.
Yeah.
I have all my malaria pills sitting in my bag still. But I don't know.
That's another thing about like pre-travel. It's like you go get your consultation, thinking you're gonna need all this stuff, and you're so prepared, and you get here, you're like, "God damn it!" It's just like being at home. Like I never get these shots in the first place.
Yeah. Probably the one that is good to have would be like typhoid or.
Like malaria as well, though. If it's really a problem there.
Yeah, I guess
there's no really shot for malaria. Like
it's like taking birth control every day. You have to take it at the same time, and if you miss a day, it's like not good.
Yeah.
Not that I know.
I mean, I took them before.
Not that I'm taking birth control. Yeah. I guess if you were going to one area where it's bad or well known to be prevalent in for a while, then it'd be like, okay, just take your freaking pills. And
I guess you sort of do what other travelers are doing around you as well.
What do you mean?
I think, like for example, the people in Laos that you met, if they're not taking malaria pills either, you might follow them. I mean, I think I might.
Yeah.
I don't know. If everybody's like, well, it's not really a big problem here.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you take them? You had them with you anyway.
I don't. I was in Thailand. That's really the only place I've been so far where I maybe should have, but on the islands, I don't think there's much of a risk. Yeah. And then I should have probably taken them when I was up north in Chiang Mai and Pai.
Wait, we needed them for Chiang Mai?
You don't need them. It's a risk, with anything. It might happen. If it does, like that's it's gonna suck. If not, then you seem okay. Not peeling over.
Yeah.
Keeling over.
Pretty cool coincidence. We were in Thailand at the same time. We were in Chiang Mai and Pai at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was whack.
Yeah. Have you met anyone traveling and then went your separate ways, maybe didn't stay in touch or anything, and then seen them later on in a different place, just totally random? Has it happened to you yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay. That happened to me in Bali. Just on New Year's night on the beach in Bali. 2 girls I met in Kuala Lumpur at the hostel. Just, oh, hey.
Oh, well, actually, last week or 2 weeks ago, someone I spent New Year's Eve with, and a couple of other guys as well. The German guy, he was staying here as well, at Wagerligen. I run into him here again. Well, I mean, it's the same country, so it's not as weird as running into somebody in a different country at a different time. But yeah. That's
Yeah.
the first time here. So
Okay.
I
Still,
spent New
though.
Year's Eve with him, and then a couple of days later I was here volunteering, and he just came here just to, like, he went to Hualien first, was there for a few days, and then came down here. But yeah, what's funny? Spent a day with him here.
Yeah.
That's the only one really.
Small world.
Mhm.
Small country.
Yeah.
Where, is there anywhere that you haven't been yet that is like an immediate, I need to get here?
South Korea
For the Olympics?
for the Olympics. This legit just came up last night. I was
While you're
just-
sleeping on the rocks?
Yeah, I was just camping at Sanchun Tai, and I was like getting super excited. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to the Olympics. I should go. I'm going to the Olympics. And I couldn't sleep at all. I was like, I gotta text someone, and then like everyone's asleep. I'm like, like back home. It's like 3 a.m. back home. Like, all right, I'm not gonna. I'll tell them later. Yeah, I guess for me it's Korea just for the Olympics.
That would be so cool. Did you hear, we were talking about this at lunch the other day, that North and South Korea are combining forces for the Olympic athletes?
Really?
Yeah.
That must be weird. Maybe not for the athletes. The athletes don't care. They're just there for the Olympics. But, like, just for the governments, I guess.
If you're in South Korea and say, because if they're all just under Korea then, and it's like, okay, that guy's from North Korea, are you still rooting them on? You know? Is it like, yeah, they're Korean, but I don't know. I'm actually kind of interested in learning more about the actual relationship between South and North Korea. Is it bad? Is it good? I mean, if they're joining forces for Olympics, it can't be that bad.
Yeah, but then you see the border in between South and
Yeah,
North.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
So
it probably is bad.
I don't know.
It's gonna be. Oh, it's winter there right now.
Well, it's Winter Olympics, dude. I hope so.
I have summer wear. I went to Thailand, came here. I'm like, it's cold. It's gonna be even colder there. Oh man, I gotta buy some pants.
Just need pants and one jacket.
Yeah. Oh, I'm taking that American Eagle jacket, by the way.
No.
Yes. No.
I lost it.
You're going to southern China. It's not gonna be cold.
It's not southern. It'll be cold.
It's not cold. Check the weather.
It's in your Shanghai. It's in the 30s. No, Fahrenheit. I don't know.
What? It doesn't get cold in Shanghai.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It's more north of here.
What? Oh man, I'm going colder place.
True, you can have it. Will it even fit you?
I don't know.
That'll be the
we'll play rock
determinant.
paper scissors.
Was there like a jacket left over?
Yes.
Someone left the jacket.
That's nice.
We're fighting over a lost and found jacket.
That's what happens when you don't pack for cold.
Yeah.
You decide
You
to go to cold.
find a free jacket and scramble like a
Learn to-
homeless man.
Yeah.
Learn to live thrifty here.
Well, aren't we?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, we're essentially homeless.
Yeah. Wow, really lifting the spirits here. Bunch of homeless men.
Home free.
Love it.
We're backpackers. Have you guys hitchhiked yet in Taiwan?
Not in Taiwan, no.
Okay. Have you in other places?
Yeah, I am. Are you familiar with like Canada's geography, kind of? Like, so Eastern Canada,
Yeah.
kind of like right around where Buffalo is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that area. I hitchhiked from like Kingston back home to Vancouver. So like good 5,000 kilometers.
Holy shit. How?
Um,
Why?
Two summers ago. 2 summers ago, I was in Kingston for work, and I went everywhere. I went to Ottawa. I went to Montreal. Like, there's a good 2-hour drive. Like, Kingston's in the middle of just about everywhere you can go see in Canada. And one place I didn't go was Niagara Falls. So for the whole summer, I was like, "Fuck, I didn't go see Niagara. I gotta go see Niagara. Like, I'm gonna regret this my whole life." So cancel my flight back home. Screw it. Take a bus. Get to Niagara. You know, it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, the town is just a giant tourist trap, but like just the falls itself was absolutely worth it. and then I essentially just camped out like a freaking homeless dude everywhere I went. Caught rides all the way to Edmonton, so just like on the other side of the Rockies, and then from there I decided to pay a ticket for a train through the Rockies because I think I would have died from hypothermia
if you don't get a pick
if I didn't catch a ride. So I made a smart choice there. You know, I'm gonna take a train back home, but like from Kingston to Edmonton, I hitchhiked so a good like 4,000 kilometers or something.
Shit.
Damn.
Yeah, it was.
I used to just slept wherever.
Yeah, just wherever.
Fuck.
Yeah, it got cold.
Yeah, of course.
What time of year was it?
The fall, so like September, October. Yeah. It would have only taken me like maybe 6 or 7 days if I just kept hitchhiking, but no, I wanted to make it a journey.
Yeah.
So I stopped in places. I hung out with my friends that I met a few years before. So like one of my buddies from Thunder Bay, I'm like, hey dude, I'm gonna stop in there next week. The next day I'm like, sorry, I actually caught a ride all the way here.
Are you here?
Yeah. I'm here now. I'm here. So he's just like drives across town, picks me up, puts me up in his house for like 3 days.
Oh, that's nice.
Drives me a good like, I don't know, 100K out of his way or something like that. I just kept catching rides, and I stopped in to Saskatoon with like, and stayed with one of my best friends from kindergarten. I've known him for like 18 years or something, and I was gonna be there for like 2 days. 2 weeks later, I'm like, yeah, dude, I should probably leave now. And then, I just kept going from there. It was like the most life-changing experience ever. Yeah, it was amazing. It was awesome.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Just hitchhiking that far. Was it hard to get picked up, or was it here where you stand there for 5-10
yes
minutes?
and no. Yeah, like in certain parts. So like going from eastern Canada to like towards the prairies, it was all right. So one dude that picked me up, he took me like 1,000 kilometers. So I got really lucky. He took me like 20-25% of the way.
Was he a trucker or not?
No, he's just going back home to Edmonton. So he's like, hey, I can take you all the way back to Edmonton. I'm like, yo, that's awesome, but I want to stop by in Thunder Bay, see my friend, so thank you. And then when I got to the prairies, no one picked me up. It sucked. I was just like on the highway for like 8 hours.
Oh, shit.
It was so windy too, and it was getting cold at that time of the year. I'm like, oh fuck! Here's the best part. Sorry. I went to Toys R Us. I bought a little children's like kick scooter, razor scooter. I forgot to mention this part. So I was like scooting down the highway, going like this, like please pick me up. I had this cardboard sign that said Vancouver equals home, and like the only people that picked me up were like people that have picked up hitchhikers before, or some really, really nice person.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and one of the most interesting ride I got was this Chinese family going from like just outside of Ontario into Winnipeg. Is like 600 kilometers. I'm just standing outside the gas station. He's like, which way you go? Left or right? I'm like, that way. He's like, how far? Vancouver. I can go into Winnipeg. I'm like, yeah, Winnipeg works. Like, it takes me like 500-600 kilometers all the way to Winnipeg. It's like him, his wife, and his kid. I'm just like riding in the back. With this Chinese family is awesome. Yeah.
I'm just picturing you on a razor scooter.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Oh man, I have photos. I'll show you them later.
Please send those to me. I'll put those in the show notes.
Yeah,
because I want to say that hurt your chances to get picked up.
No. It improved it probably like 1,000 times.
You got statistics? What's
the first dude that picked me up? he's just going out for a joyride in his like Nissan Skyline or whatever. He's like, I wasn't gonna pick you up, but I saw you had a scooter. That's like, he's fucking harmless.
This guy's not gonna kill me.
And then he just drives for like 3 hours out of his way, like good 150 kilometers or something. It's like, all right, I can drop you off here. I gotta drive back home. And then afterwards, I'm just chilling in this trucker stop or whatever. And I have like a bowl of trail mix and peanut butter, just like chowing down. It's like midnight, closing up. I was planning to just like, I don't know, sleep there. And then these other dudes, they see my sign, like, hey, I was born in Vancouver. I'm taking Sudbury, yeah. It takes me another 200K, so like, first night, I traveled 400 kilometers. And all in like maybe 3 or 4 hours. Because I spent like a good 2 hours in a Tim Hortons. Like, I was absolutely terrified. I didn't know how the hell I was gonna do this. I was so fucking scared, like so uncertain what I was gonna do. So I just like on the phone talking to my brother for like 2 hours. And I wasn't even talking about like, yo, I'm fucking terrified. I was just talking about poker. Like that's how we connect. We just talk about poker. And then afterwards, like the sun's going down, like, dude, I gotta go. I think I should start this trip now.
Yo, low key, I'm terrified.
Yeah, I'm fucking scared as shit. I'll figure it out. I'll tell you if I die or not. Peace.
Yeah, were you ever scared that you're just gonna get picked up by an absolute psycho and
Yeah,
if they exist in Canada?
that was just before I stepped off, right? Like, I kind of... Are you familiar with Stoicism at all?
Yeah.
Like, they have this sort of...
Explain a little bit about it if you don't know.
They have this sort of mindset, or this way of putting fear, in its place, called like premeditations of evil. So you kind of go through a checklist of like everything bad that could happen. For me, it was like I could get picked up by some like serial killer, like psychopath. I could get run over by a car. I could get, like attacked by a bear, which is probably like the most likely thing. And that was that was like in the back of my mind. But I could also just die of hypothermia. And then like once I got through that, like I actually like sat with it and kind of, acknowledged it. I was like, all right, I think I'm ready to die. I'm ready. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Mom, I love you.
So,
but it probably goes away as well, right? If you get like a few nice rides, you're pretty sure.
Yeah, and then after the first ride, I was like, wow, this is awesome.
So by almost just looking at all the fears, just right point blank on the sheet, you just look at them and then you realize maybe they actually aren't. Like, I guess
they were very relevant, right?
Well, yeah. So how does that help? I guess some people would probably think you lay out all your fears, you look at them, and they're like, "Wow, these are legit. Fuck that, I'm not doing this." How does that help you to put fear in its place?
I think just like very realistically visualizing, like how the hell this is gonna go down. Like if I got attacked by a bear, this is gonna suck. Like I'm gonna die. Like I know I'm gonna die. Okay. If I get stuck, like 100 kilometers out of town and like I have no food, no water, no shelter, I'm gonna probably die to exposure. You just really have to like sit with that and just understand like you're gonna die. And once you accept it, you just kind of make the decision you're gonna move forward, and if it happens, I guess like you've already kind of rehearsed your death. Yeah.
Jesus.
So I take the quote from Seneca. He, in one of his letters from Letters of a Stoic, he mentions also rehearsing your death, like practicing dying so that it's not so unfamiliar when it does happen.
What do you mean by practicing?
Practicing as in like what I said, like just visualizing it, like how am I gonna die? It's very morbid.
It is.
And it's but it's very sobering as well, knowing like we're all gonna die one day, right? And if it happens sooner or later, it's out of your control. And there's really like, I mean, no reason for unnecessarily burdening yourself with like the fear of death. Once you get it past it, then you can kind of just move on with what you have to do.
It's not supposed to be like a depressive thing.
No, it's not. It's not really making you fearless, but it's making you more like cognizant of like reality, I guess.
So
right?
Very.
It helps you move past, it helps you just move past your fears and do what needs to be done, right? So once I decided I was gonna fucking hitchhike home, I knew I had to get on the road and then go, and then all these factors could happen. I could die very, very soon. But what had to be done is me getting home. So I just
focus on that, or
focus getting home. And then what really was amazing from that is just the amount of people that wanted to help me. Like, it wasn't just getting a ride. I stopped into McDonald's and I camped out in McDonald's. I camped out in like fast food restaurants as well. When I got into like a town or a city, and the freaking workers there, they like gave me food. It was so amazing. Like I slept in this one 24-hour McDonald's, and I was so sleep fucked when I woke up. It was like 3 a.m. I was like, I need to order some food. So I tried to order like a pastry. She's like, oh no, sorry, kitchen closed. I couldn't understand. Like, it's 24-hour. I was too tired to understand. Like, it's a 24-hour McDonald's. How is the food closed? And then like 10 minutes later, she comes out with a big bag of cookies for me. Oh. It's like, it's for you. I'm like, oh wow. Thank you. And then I was trying to catch a ride outside the that same McDonald's. People that were going into the drive-thru, they kept giving me food.
No way.
Yeah. I had so many sausage McGriddles. Yeah.
So back, that's incredible. You're literally a homeless man.
yeah, for like 5 weeks.
Oh my gosh. But back to this.
Awesome.
I had one pair of jeans and like a tank top. Like all the clothes you see me wear here, that's like what I wore. Yeah. When I was hitchhiking home.
Oh man, now that you know that you can do that, it's, what do you have to really fear with trying to do other stuff? Like, worst comes to worst, I'll just hitchhike across the country and be homeless for a few weeks.
I've actually thought about this. When I go back home, I might not even fly into Vancouver. I might fly into like Toronto and do the same.
Purposely do it again.
Yeah, I might make it a ritual. Do it like once a year.
Probably a sobering experience.
It was like, the most transformative experience ever, because you kind of what's it called? I'm losing words, but like it makes you believe in people again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to a bit of the stoicism stuff, because I know we're both big Tim Ferriss fans, and he talks about that pretty frequently.
Yeah.
And like with the fear stuff. So is it, because I've heard him talk about it a few times, but I've never actually done like a legit exercise like that. So is it almost that by bringing it to light and putting it right in front of you, it allows it to not just fester in the back of your mind and nag at you and you try to like suppress it, and then it just keeps coming back? So is it like, it's just, hey, here it is, this could happen, I'm aware of it, if it happens, it happens, and I'm going to do everything to obviously make sure it doesn't, but some of it's out of my control and I'll do what I can.
I think the biggest fear we have is uncertainty and the unknown. So then the more you can try to familiarize with that, even if it is like a gruesome death, like if you can familiarize with that more and more, you won't be so paralyzed by it, by having to do what is necessary, right, in order get home. Like for me, I knew I had to get home. Sitting in Tim Hortons and just like crying about it, not literally crying, but like, you know, moping about it, wasn't gonna get me anywhere. So like, you have to kind of face your fear. Yeah.
Have you done that sort of exercise for anything else since then?
Oh, all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did before this like hitchhiking experience. I kind of did that when I was in the Philippines. So I tried to hike my own volcano on my own. It was a stupid idea, stupid decision, like just dumb. But before I went, I did this whole fear setting thing. I'm like, I could very well die, you know. Once I get to the top of the mountain, like a couple people died a couple of years ago before then, from like a sudden eruption, and then like boulders came down and killed them. I'm like, oh, this could very well happen to me. Yeah. And then there's like poisonous gases at the summit. I was like, oh, wow. Why are we doing this? I don't know. It was more of an entire ego trip though, one for me hiking my own. But I still kind of did that same exercise and, you know, rehearsing death and just familiarizing like I could run out of water. I did run out of water, by the way. I was so dehydrated the next day. I could run out of water and just you know, die from dehydration or from heat stroke. So I didn't make it up. I made it to like the second campsite, whatever they call it.
Out of how many?
I think there's 2, and then the rest of you hike.
Okay.
I made it to the second campsite, and then I got lost in the jungle. The only way I made it back was because I was smart enough to bring a knife and cut up a deck of cards and kind of...
Shit.
No way.
Yeah. Like,
you literally did a... what's that fairy tale?
know,
Is it
yeah.
Hansel and...
Oh, maybe it is.
Breadcrumbs, yeah.
Breadcrumbs, yeah.
Like,
Why can we not think of the fairy tale?
I just put them down, and I got so lost. I was so like dehydrated and everything. I found a card. I was like, "That's my card." I just followed it back. Yeah.
Okay, it is Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
That's you. You cut
actually
up
did
cards.
that.
Yeah. And it was funny because like these cards, they were laminated or whatever, so you couldn't rip them up. And I was cheaping out. I wasn't gonna buy a knife because it was so expensive. I was like, I don't need a knife. I can just rip up the cards. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I bought a knife.
Shit.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense, man.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stupid things.
But fear set before it would be good.
But
Jeez.
it's also good to feel fear at the same time, so you don't kind of intentionally put yourself into these situations. It's like in the Philippines, my last couple nights. Another story for you. I went gambling.
Oh gosh.
I lost all my money. I couldn't take any more money out from the ATM, so I had literally like $6. I couldn't get a room in anywhere.
$10,000 in debt from the Philippine mob.
So I literally just had like a big liter of water and like an ice cream cone. I'm like walking around Manila. I'm like, fuck. I got like 3 days left. I have no money. It's the middle of the night. I'm so tired. I find this like wrecked construction site. There's like trenches and everything, and like broken stone slabs and like rebar coming out of the ground. So I sleep in one of these trenches. And like in the middle of the night I wake up to take a piss, and there are these dogs just barking. And I'm like, okay, dogs. I take a piss, and it's getting louder behind me. I'm just like, what's that sound? And so there's one dog just growling at me like 10 feet away. I'm like, go away, dog, get out of here. I just kind of like hop back down in this little trench in my bedroll, and then like 3 more dogs pop up, and they're all surrounding me.
Jesus.
And the weird thing is, like, I was not scared at all. Like I was just like so like wired. I had my water bottle. I was like ready to go. I was like so ready to like fight them.
You were ready to fight dogs.
Yeah, like I didn't move. I didn't even feel like I was breathing. They just barked at me for like 30 minutes straight. I was just like sitting absolutely still, like kind of posturing, like ready to just like strike if they came. And then they left. And afterwards, I just kind of like put my water bottle down and went right back to bed. I came back 3 hours later and did the exact same thing.
The dogs.
Yeah. And then that's it's really weird now because like that was 2 years ago, and how I reacted to those dogs, like I wasn't like scared at all, but I think it may have been like a dumb thing not to have been afraid in that moment, because like
if you were afraid, what then?
Well, yeah, how would that have helped?
How would that have been?
You might have reacted stupidly. I don't know. What's a good way to react?
I think it's good to have fear, because like for me, I felt like I was invincible. Like that whole time I was in Philippines, like I acted like I had no fear, and it was a good thing I wasn't afraid in that moment. But like I put myself in that situation, I put myself in really dumb situations because of me thinking I was completely fearless and like invincible. And it's good now, I think, after a couple of years, like reintroducing a little bit of fear to make a little wiser decisions. Also, like not put yourself in such dumb spots. Like when I go for a run around here and there are these dogs, like I actually feel kind of scared now. Maybe I'm a little scared of these dogs, but it's good to have fear, I think.
Okay, so it's almost back then you were being a bit naive about what could happen. You were just saying, like you said, you felt you were invincible. Oh, that won't happen to me. I'll be fine doing this.
Yeah.
So maybe allowing fear to not
kind of guide you into like not paralyze you, but also guide you into making like a smart choice, smart decision.
Okay, but so do you still are you letting fear dictate your decisions, or are you just letting it say like, hey, maybe think about this twice?
Yeah, kind of like
should play a role in your decision making.
Kind of like Jiminy Cricket, like, hey, stupid. Okay, we're not retarded. Right? I shouldn't say retarded, but we're not like invincible. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just acknowledging it, maybe letting it. Okay, maybe don't do this, but. And then if it's other, like, do you still find times where that little voice is getting too loud for something that maybe you want to do, or not like sleeping on the street, but and you have to still push that away, or when do you listen to it, when do you not listen to it?
I think when I've been in that situation already, I know where my limit is, right? And then if my fear is kind of popping up, like I can kind of brush it aside if I feel comfortable, but not like, or comfortable, confident, but not cocky about it, right? So if I'm comfortable with the situation, if I'm confident I can, confident being in this situation, I can kind of, put the fear aside. But like if I find my ego's coming up and, getting a little cocky, then the fear comes up. It's like, all right, kind of dial back a bit. Okay. Yeah. But that's why I got this tattoo, actually.
I want to ask about that, but before we do that, I forgot what I was going to ask. So let's... shit. I don't know. Okay, well, yeah, so what is that?
So this is an Ouroboros.
I'll throw a picture on the show notes.
The snake that's eating its tail goes around in a circle, endless cycle. It's kind of a personal touch on it. It's a Nordic dragon. because I like Skyrim. But it's just to remind me about the process. You know, like you've never made it. You know, like there's no reason to ever feel like you're invincible. You're on top of the world. You know, it just really dials me back. Stops me from being so cocky, I guess, and just kind of keeps my ego in check. So I guess like the whole thing about the fear aspect and me feeling like I'm invincible is like a whole bunch of these ego trips I get. So,
do you think that you would have been able to have or come to those realizations without those past experiences, like sleeping on the street in Manila with the dogs, or with that little bit of naivety?
No.
What's that the right word?
Naivety?
Yeah,
I don't think I would have, like... I don't think I'd be where I am without any of the experiences I've had before. So everything that has happened in the last 23 years has brought me to where I am now, and I wouldn't change anything. And all the bad shit that's happened, I wouldn't change any of it, because then I'm very satisfied where I am now. Yeah. And then I just kind of look at my forearm where my tat is, and I just kind of, whenever I feel like I'm kind of overstepping my boundaries or getting a little cocky or whatever, kind of just like remind myself, you know, humble wings, I like this. Humble wings. Yeah. Has a lot to do with sorry, but this has a lot to do with me and my little couple years playing poker, because that has been like the biggest ego trip whenever I play poker, and like I've lost so much money because of my ego, and that's what finally got me to get this tattoo, because I wanted to get it for like 5 years now. Always put it aside, and then like I finally like kind of hit the wall like for the 10 millionth time, and I was like, all right, we can't torch our bankroll anymore. It's just some poker terms, because my brother's a professional poker player, and I think like I just decided to play poker because of him, and I always kind of wanted to play poker because of him, and then I always lose my money. I'd always lose my money, and I don't know where I'm going with this, sorry. I just started thinking about poker, and I was like, fuck, I love poker so much, but...
Well, so did this self-awareness, and when you feel like my ego's getting too big, or I need to dial it back, I need to keep myself in check a little bit more. I mean, is it almost at these many times that you've had these struggles, whether poker or other life stuff, that's gradually allowed you to learn that and adopt that mindset? Or like, how did you develop that sort of very keen self-awareness and desire to
that, and also I think just reading the right books. Seriously, like,
look, can you name some suggestions?
The Power of Now. That's gotta be the most like life-altering, powerful book I've read, and it's extremely woo-woo. Like if you don't keep an open mind to it, you're just gonna be like, fuck this book. Because it's really in your face, but if you keep an open mind, you're like, okay, just be more aware of this, more aware of that, then you kind of keep your ego in check that way. Because it's all about absolving your ego. Yeah.
Have you read Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday?
Yeah, I just read that before I came.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just started that yesterday.
Yeah, how you like it?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting concepts. It's not just that book, but the whole just very internalized approach to anything, in life or work or traveling. Just taking that, trying to develop that very keen self-awareness and understanding your emotions and what makes you tick or what makes you, why am I feeling unmotivated about this, or when you're going into doing something that you feel passionate about, or he just talked about how passion sucks, don't pay attention to passion, that chapter.
Yeah.
So just about all these different areas where from just growing up, at least in the U.S., where the advice is follow your passion, follow what makes you happy, shit like that. Not to say that's bad, but the whole approach of the internalization and you need to, it has to come from within, is saying like you can't rely on these external things to push you to a certain level, like passion or motivation, because those aren't going to be around every moment. What happens when you're getting beat in the face by some work you're trying to do when nothing's going your way, or you're not going to be feeling passionate about it at that time, so are you going to have to wait for passion to come back, or are you going to be able to find something else to push you through those times? And that, not just work, obviously that's what he talks a lot about in that book, but with anything, with traveling or I don't know other categories, but yeah, it's interesting, that whole concept, and the more I read about it, the more it makes sense and trying to implement in my own life, and it seems to be good. I don't know.
Have you read Meditations?
Parts of it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Marcus Aurelius?
Yeah.
Have you read any of these?
No.
Yeah, sorry, we're not letting you talk at all.
It's alright. It's alright.
Sorry, I took up all
Phil
the...
just took a
I just
hour
kinda
for
like
some
to-
stories. Those are good stories.
They were.
Yeah. It's very interesting. But yeah, definitely read, travel, do some new shit.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of your bubble.
Yeah.
Thanks, Barack Obama. But sorry, back to that. I actually am supposed to be on shift right now, so we should kind of wrap this up. I'm 10 minutes late, but I texted them. It's okay. But yeah, it's part of traveling is to get out of that bubble. Not just your bubble of yourself, but of your society. Of your culture, of the way you think you're supposed to live life, and that traveling definitely helps break that. But now that we have phones where go on Twitter, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, go on Reddit, go on these other sites where everything is so, even advertisements, you're getting advertisements for poker. Everything is so individualized, so focused on you, personalization, give you the best experience, make sure you want to read what you want to see. How do we, do you just have to dump those apps off your phone? Because now even when we're traveling, we're carrying it with us still. We're able to break through some of our bubbles by just throwing ourselves into new cultures. But I don't know. Am I just rambling about nonsense right now?
I don't think you should actually dump those apps or websites or whatever, because you can't really help it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think just keeping an open mindset is the best you can do.
Yeah, keeping the open mindset's really the best, I think, as well.
Just know that there's more stuff going on than what you see most of the time, I guess, on news or websites or whatever.
Yeah.
Take it with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be able to keep an open mindset, I guess it could be important to go places, to see for yourself, I guess. It would help.
Just have that awareness that this isn't the world exactly. Okay. It's crazy. Technology is nuts, man. It's kind of scary in a way. It's all great, but the fact that Russia, if they did probe some of the election, that they can. That
Yeah.
that we're reading
it
the
is
stuff we
yeah.
read. How do we know that this is the truth? Have you? Sorry, one more wrap up. Have you read 1984 by George Orwell?
Yeah, I was I was disappointed with the ending.
Yeah, man. I thought he was gonna win.
Yeah, I was so disappointed.
I haven't read it.
You haven't read it? Okay, we won't spoil it. But
Like getting towards the end of the book, and like there's like this much left. I'm like, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen?
no, this isn't going right.
Yeah, no, come on.
Oh, yeah. We won't spoil it, but that's a good one. I mean, that's one of the classic books you gotta read.
A couple of weeks ago, I read another book by Animal Farm. That was quite good.
How was that one?
It's really good as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I recommend it.
Okay.
Same.
I reckon it's different.
George Orwell, yeah. Same
Animal Farm,
author.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Orson Welles, but like, wait, that's not right.
What did he write?
I don't know.
That's not Orson Welles.
I don't know.
Who wrote 1984 again?
George Orwell.
George Orwell.
Right?
Yes.
Now you got me.
That's
guessing.
whatever.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
That's unimportant. Who is Orson Welles is more important.
Oh yeah, George Orwell wrote 1984. Yeah, well, who is Orson Welles? See, these are the questions that we need to know. See, I mean, technology's great. We can look up who this dude is. Oh, he's an actor.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're totally on.
Oh, he's an old actor. Jeez. Ah, cool. Obama. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, I should probably go to my shift.
All right.
But man, thank you for talking. We're at the 2-hour mark.
Oh shit! Really?
Oh,
Yeah. See, that went quick.
You have to cut this into 2 parts now.
No, we'll just leave it. It's the whole point of the podcast is, just the listeners kind of a fly on the wall. I don't want to have to do a ton of editing and have to cherry pick stuff.
You have to edit mine so bad because it's just rambling.
No, it's
cool stories,
interesting though. It's good stories, and like I'll even leave this in it because I don't know. I like kind of the long form interview. You feel like you're just sitting in the room. It's definitely more of the Tim Ferriss approach or the Joe Rogan. Where Joe Rogan literally does. I don't know if he does any editing. Like some of his, I know you haven't listened to his, but some of his. There'll be a 5-minute point where they're not talking about anything, and they're just like, "Oh, you want to go grab a beer from the fridge?" And it's like, "Okay." And they're just like talking about some random stuff. Then they come back and keep talking. So his is like completely unedited. Just you're sitting in the room with them. Tim's is a little bit more edited.
Oh, I guess that's why you call it the Joe Rogan experience, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have to experience
Come
it.
experience life with Joe Rogan. So this is a traveling experience with Lethal Nonkes. But yeah, thank you for joining.
Oh, we're not done?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. But maybe I'll cut this out. Thank you for joining me. Thank you everyone for listening. And until next time. Hey everyone, Lee here again real quick with the question of the episode. But before I get to that, if you liked or disliked this discussion type format of the podcast, please let me know in the comments on the website or by sending a note to lee.t@edgeofcomfort.com. And this will help me know if I should do more or not like this. So, on to the question though. The question for this episode is, does volunteering or some sort of workaway experience while traveling sound like something you would do? If you already have before, what did you do and what was your experience like? Head to edgeofcomfort.com/EOCP12 and leave your answer or story in the comments section at the bottom of the post. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to reading your answers. Until next time.